Do one more thing, and I'll wait for the folks to roll in, say what up, and all that good stuff. Man, what a ride it's been so far on the way to 2K24. We was out in the Twitter Spaces yesterday, and I gotta tell you, man, you gotta salute the 2K devs for trying to bridge the gap. Well, at least I do. I'll say I gotta salute the 2K devs for trying to bridge the gap. They are out here in these spaces. Salute to Red City and Ja for creating a nice wave. Salute to everybody in here. What's good? Appreciate the love, y'all. Man, the love and support be wild. Coach Z in the building. John White, let's get it. Alex Gibson, Wheezy out here. Underrated reply guy. Jay Johnson, Mark, Lumi, Starfish, Hollywood, Timothy, Ian, Vashon. What up? What up? Splash Buckets. Salute to everybody in here. Biggie, Jeremiah, Devin. Another 5 hour space today. Yeah, that space was hella long. And I got to tell you, listen, if you guys want to get involved in the spaces, go follow All City Big Heck. We All City Big Heck hosted a tremendously successful space last night where we had Zach Timmerman in there, we had the Czar in there, we had Herb Scribner come up on stage. Herb Scribner is the feature reporter for the Washington Post, and he's the one who's been giving us some great information as far as where the finances go for uh, the company and the top execs. Definitely an advocate for the community. So if you want to get involved in interesting conversations like that, consider following All City Big Hack. 100K on the way, hopefully, with God's blessing, man. Derek, what up, man? Salute to everybody. If I missed your comment, please copy and repost it. Yes, yes, this is what it's about. The grind is what it's about. And you want to take advantage of these key moments uh, so that way you can make a name for yourself during this grind time. So salute to All City Big Heck for making things happen. Was the attribute boost from takeover pre-post activation ever explained by devs yet? You mean like well, they did say 10, you'll get plus 10 attributes upon activating it. But as you guys know in previous 2Ks, oftentimes I wouldn't even activate my takeover because I'll just stay with the consistent boost that you get to your attributes, which I'm not exactly sure of the number. I think Laker fan broke down the numbers, but as you get your bar increase, your badges, your attributes increase as well. So I would just leave it on until I lose it. Coster in the building. I'm very excited for 2K24 as well. Physicals matter, yeah. Physicals seem to matter. I know we've been finessed in the past, but when you look at that bulldozer animation, it makes you understand that Double H tweeted out he tweeted something out today saying, if you make a big man, don't make a big man without strength. If you make a lock, don't make a lock without strength. And if you make a slasher, don't make a slasher without strength. So definitely some stuff to consider. Yes, salute to Coster, man. Coster's been supporting us for a minute now, and it's pretty dope. I wonder how the new badge system will work throughout 2K24. Oh, I just dropped a video on that. That's been the topic of conversation. If you guys are curious on how the new badge system works, you could either check the Twitter space that we did yesterday. It's on All City Big Hex page at B1S. We went into tremendous detail about the badge system. And I dropped a video today explaining the badge system and the floor setters. So if you're curious, All City with bulldozer and physical handles coming into the game. Do you think a Giannis build will be OP? I think a Giannis build is, we can't say overpowered because we don't know the other side, the other effect, like interior defense and the block attribute. We just don't know. But at least against smaller players, yeah, you have the potential to be overpowered. How does that how is that challenge met against an interior defense with the correct badges on, the skill, and the right attributes on? That's what we got to see. They made the build system so complicated so we can make money. Yet again, on top of that, you can't make a good game in 8 months. I don't care who you are, make this game free to play. Uh, so we got some insight about that as well. Like I said, the Czar was in there, and Zach Timmerman was in there in the Twitter space last night. That Twitter space lasted extra long, but the Czar did provide us some insight as to our experience over the last few years. And I, to kind of simplify everything, and this was like at least the conclusion that we came to, was that 2K right now, for the release of 2K24, had finally put themselves to get their feet set upon development for next gen. And it's a little complicated to understand that because 21 came out late, 21 next gen came out late, so that pushed back the cycle for 22, 23. They had the Jordan moments and they had to kind of work with that. And right now, as of right now for 24, it's like they got their feet set, so we should be able to see everything come to fruition that they've been working on over the last few years. So hopefully that's the case. We'll keep our fingers crossed. But that was what the Czar had to say about it, because I had the same question. You know, I was pretty straightforward. I had the same question in saying, who cares what y'all got to go through? You know, we were talking about things like, because we had a developer in there, a gaming developer in there as well. Salute to the homie Don. And he was breaking down the details. So one of my main questions was this, and we could break this down. We could create some dialogue on it. But one of my main questions that I had for this particular developer, Don, who develops a different game outside of 2K, he just wanted to give us insight to the development process. And he was going on about how the development process is not a quick process. And I'm like, I think a good majority of the community understands it's not snap your fingers to get things done. But what I did say helped me understand why a change like the adjustment to steals, which started the trend downward for 2K23. I wanted to understand how that was a relatively fast adjustment made that changed the game completely and the trajectory of the game. So my question to him was, if they were able to make that change, how easy is it for development to change or nudge it back in a different direction because it so drastically changed the game in front of us? And the conclusion we came to is that if they're able to make a change, because the concern here was that if you touch one aspect of the game, inadvertently you'll affect another aspect of the game. And that's why adjustments take so long, because you got so much coding to go through to see what affects what. So I said, hey, okay, that's cool, understandable. Thanks for the insight. But if they were able to make the change initially in a relatively small amount of time, what prevents them from making the change back or readjusting the change that was made? I said, did Mike Wang have the ability to readjust that steel slider? The biggest change that changed 2K23. He said, most certainly, he had that ability to readjust it without having to go through the length of time that some of these other adjustments may take. So that was a big question of mine, and I wanted to have that resolved. And the concern was that if Mike Wang continued to make these type of adjustments, then you end up going down a rabbit hole. So you had to stick with the adjustment he made for 2K23. And we're hoping that on 2K24, this is all hashed out. They got a ton of feedback from the community. I think they have a better understanding of what the community wants. And they were going into the development process of 2K24 with that understanding. Another issue came up with crossplay and how it seems like 2K is behind the ball on crossplay. And you know, folks were saying, well, it takes, again, the same argument. It takes long to make these things happen. I said, okay, understandable. If it takes long, it takes just as long for other development companies to make crossplay happen as well, right? But they made it happen way sooner than 2K. So whether 2K dropped the ball right now or 2K dropped it years ago when they should have started the processes for adding crossplay. The point is that the ball was dropped, and it's like, okay, now we're back on track. Let's keep this thing moving forward, but let's innovate. It's not only to keep it moving forward, like taking these baby steps. Let's lead the way, like 2K is supposed to be doing, in my opinion, at least. So, some hella interesting stuff, man. 300 in the chat. At least it's a significant boost this year. Yeah, you know, folks think that the builder is extra complicated and the badge system is extra complicated, but it makes sense in my opinion. We want to, it looks like the goal, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like the goal for 2K24 is to minimize the idea of folks creating meta builds. And this badge system helps that idea because there's going to be a regression in badges. So although you may have the opportunity to create a meta build, that meta build will not sustain if you're not steadily performing particular animations that are tied to badges. So I think it does help with meta builds. It allows for more variety in builds that we see, a variety of animations and gameplay styles that we'll see out there. It's dynamic and it's going to be ever so changing throughout the year. I imagine with floor setters, if you guys don't know, floor setters are going to be distributed through the seasons. So there's 18 floor setters, 9 gold, 9 silver. And if you don't know what floor setters are, I got a video. I just dropped it explaining in great detail exactly what floor setters could do for you. But these are going to be spread throughout the seasons. And because they're going to be spread throughout the seasons, this means that maybe mid-year, 4 or 5 seasons in, that's when you're going to start seeing the true potential of a lot of players. So it allows room for growth. God Soldier, Queen Didi. Queen Didi says she got a build in mind. So definitely some great stuff to Shy Bully. Appreciate you. Great stuff to consider. I know it may sound overwhelming, it may seem complicated, but rest assured, we're here. If you got questions, join the Discord. Especially now is a good time because our Discord, the community is so helpful. It's not only me and the All City team, a lot of folks that just enjoy our community being there helping folks out. So if you lack understanding, you need guidance, join our Discord. Type !Discord in this live stream chat and the link will come up and you could join. What up, Derek McCoy? What's goody? It's not the same builder, your other stats, and that's what folks aren't understanding. What up, Saeed? Folks aren't understanding that there was a reason to make these adjustments to the builder. You're going to see a lot more attributes. As you raise one, you're going to see another attribute get affected. So, for instance, you're raising a particular physical attribute, you may see like your driving dunk go up and your rebounding go up. You know, they're going to tie in these attributes. They're kind of tethered. So, I think there's a good thing because it helps prevent folks from making these absolutely trash builds. You also got the templates. And by the way, which we found out yesterday, because I had confusion. I was the only one with confusion on it. But Mike Wayne confirmed that if you make an NBA player template, y'all, hear me. If you make a Kobe Bryant NBA player template, no matter the attributes, you can't make any adjustments to the attributes. Don't get me wrong. You can adjust these. You can modify these. But if you end up making the exact template, then you get all of the animations tied in with that template, off rip, tied in with that player. You'll get all of Kobe Bryant's animations, whether you meet the requirements for attributes or not. Those animations are yours. So that's pretty dope. What up, Chosen? What's good? That's pretty. 363 in the chat. Man, oh man, we are out here. Let's get to the chat. You guys got questions. Hopefully I got answers for you. I will pull up the gameplay dates. So on August 30th at 8 a.m. Pacific time, which is like 11 a.m. Eastern time, quick play and Mamba moments. We get the first 5 Mamba moments. They're going to break that down. And on September 1st, we get the My Player Builder, My Career, and specifically the Rec, which is fairly new. This is all new. They've never really went into Rec like this. So there must be something new with the Rec Center. Who knows what that could be? I'm excited about it. It looks like 2K has realized the potential for rec. Classic teams. AD template build. Blake said that sounds interesting. But it's not going to be every NBA player. Just keep that in mind. They have a set number of NBA players which they haven't disclosed as of yet. But those NBA players that you decide to choose, if you make an exact template, I gotta tell you, considering what replica builds was for NBA 2K23, I don't see 2K getting the player templates right in regards to how that template is gonna function online in higher levels of competition. You may go crazy in the rec center, but I don't know if those things are gonna operate all too well. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe it's a possibility, but appreciate you, Kenny George. What can you think can be done for rec matchmaking? They just need to tighten it up, in my opinion, Bill Cosby. They just need to tighten it up. Matchmaking has to be a very real thing, but the problem here lies herein. I'll give you guys a for instance.
Let's go, coach.
For years, Pro-Am was suffering. Where, like, for instance, in NBA 2K20, we were like the top 10, something like that. I think we were ranked number 3. But we kept consistently having to delete our team and redo it because at that level, because of matchmaking, we would get to like gold or whatnot. At that level, there was nobody to matchmake against. So we sitting there waiting for so long. So I think that's the balance that 2K is trying to figure out. Is like, how do we matchmake? And for folks that are super elite, who do we match them up against? If there's no other elite teams. And I guess the baseline priority for players, if they go into the rec, the baseline priority is, I want to get a game. So they kind of revert back to that baseline priority at the expense of matchmaking. At least that's the way it seems to me, but this is the first time I've seen 2K this confident. And say that again. Who was that again? Who was that again? We were talking about that, God Soldier. We was talking about that. For a good majority of us, this is the first time we seen 2K puffing out their chests, beating on their chest, saying, "We're here, y'all. What questions y'all got?" Not only are we here like Mike Wayne coming out of hibernation for 2 weeks and then gone again, these folks are in the spaces, accessible. The first time in years, it makes my hair stand up because we're going in the right direction here. You know how much we learned? Big Red, a legend for 1 month, 100K on the way. Salute to you, Big Red. If you guys would like to become a member, just type !join. The link will come up. You can become a member today and get a badge by your name. I will be updating those badges, by the way. But it's the first time that we've seen the development team come out confident, everybody on all hands on deck. They're out there, they're willing and able to talk, they're connecting. We want to see it last for more than just the sale period or, the pre-order period. We want to see it go into gameplay. But what I'm getting at here is the lack of transparency that we've had for years that have allowed creators like myself to come up with my own assumptions. There was a lack of transparency. A lack of transparency and too many gameplay changes. Hopefully we're turning over a new leaf where development is more transparent with what's going on. So that way creators like myself could have educated answers to your questions instead of going off the cuff, only off of my experience playing the game. So I love this idea, man. And hopefully, when the game drops, everything they spoke about is executed well. And we're in line. What up, Jerron? What's goody? All City Big Red, $10 super chat. The GOAT speaking facts. It is what it is, man. Hopefully we're headed to a new era of 2K. Hopefully 2K can lead the way in how development works with the community that they sell the game to. Do you know how innovative that is? Salute to the 2K dev team as well. I'll get to the comments in just 1 second. If I miss your comment, copy and repost it. Salute to the dev team for hosting the community day. Salute to 2K for hosting the community day and giving out those prizes to them, making them feel special, putting them on that pedestal, putting the cover. Them folks like salute to Javer's twin for having his face, his image on the cover of a 2K, just for him, customized. I thought that was super dope. I thought it makes people feel good. Lad White Jackson, appreciate you subscribing, becoming a member. Appreciate that. So let's get to the comments. Let's keep this thing going. 418 in the chat. Again, hoping for new beginnings with 2K. Let's see how this all turns out. You guys got the dates? September 1st, we get gameplay, player builder information. Just let me earn XP through my career so I can go into the rec badged up. As you will, I imagine. 2K20 had me in the chokehold. I'm just hoping. Damn, I missed it. Heroes Gaming. Do you get a chance to ask them about censor animations after you block and block a shot and it makes you look winded, like you're getting hit by a truck? It's like you're being hit with a fat glizzy. Oh, City Tron, become a legend. Appreciate that. Salute to you, Tron. It's a great question. I don't think anybody has really fully addressed that question yet. I've tried. I've sent it via Twitter to Mike Wang. Didn't get any response. It's definitely a concern of mine how well defense is going to hold up to all of this ammunition that's been given to finishers. Hands up defense has to work, especially because of that whistle call, that whistle badge, which is going to afford the offense more foul calls. Coster said the new build system is actually really good for casuals and YouTubers this year. I can't say much, but casuals will make way better builds this year. Thank you for saying that. I think we need more folks to understand because it sounds intimidating. But I believe the same thing. 2K is heavily devoted towards the casual because the good majority of the player base is on the casual side. So when Mike Wang was referencing multiple times in one paragraph that the game is going to be more accessible, that means easier for folks, easier access. So hopefully that puts alleviates some of your concerns. The other homie just became a member, Blake Malpus. Appreciate you becoming a rookie. Thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate that. If you guys want to become a member, exclamation point join, and the link will come up. Hill Brandon, I'm a little bit 50 on the badge regression teammate grade system, simply because they never really get the teammate grade system right. And totally understandable. Actually, I brought up the same thing yesterday. George Darty, you just have to copy and repaste it. I'll read it back in just a second. But I mentioned the same thing yesterday. We all know in regards to like say your rep levels in the rec center, getting that GOAT status, how that process was, and it didn't. Not all of us were 100% sure on when we were gonna get hit GOAT and why do we lose it so quick. I could think back on rep levels getting frozen, and there's no like progression added. So there's so many things to consider, and we could count the ways, we could count tons of ways that 2K can get it wrong. And it's almost like you just gotta have faith that 2K gets it right. Will they get certain? I imagine certain aspects being realistic. I imagine certain aspects are gonna be considered wrong by the 2K community. But again, at least we're headed down the right direction, preventing meta builds, hopefully bringing fun back into the game. I think meta builds are fun. It ain't like I don't think meta builds are fun. I like the idea of
Let's
having
go,
meta builds,
Koji.
but the reason why there's meta builds is because folks are just trying to get the best bang for their buck. If 2K prevents that, then what do you think folks are going to end up focusing
Let's
on?
go, Koji.
They're going to end up focusing on skill. And you're going to have, if they could prevent, absolutely prevent exploits and meta builds, then the only thing that's left that separates players is skill. And it looks like we're headed that direction. So hopefully, fingers crossed, man. Let's see what else we got. Appreciate you, Blake. George said, will old generation players get pro play? No, sir. You will not be getting pro play. I think OG Almighty got fake subs because he got 100K subs and his lives never pulled. That's you're mistaken. OG Almighty is a true OG of the community. I was running against OG Almighty way back in 2K17. He's been doing it a long time. Salute to the homie OG Almighty. Everybody knows who OG Almighty is, and that comes from all his efforts that he's put in over the years. So please don't put that on his name. Salute to OG. I really like his vibes, and I wish him all the success in the world. And game gonna feel differently for sure. Whole new animations, and you shouldn't go to other people's live streams to talk about another streamer. It's just not good etiquette. If you have something to say about that man and how he conducts his business, talk to that man. Yeah. The console shortage been over. Elijah, appreciate the $10. Man, you guys are going in. What is it? Henny weekend? What are you day drinking already? Yo, keep sending them. I don't mind the super chats at all. Thank you, Elijah. I appreciate that, man. I truly appreciate the gestures y'all make with these super chats. It means a lot. He's just blackballed by YouTube. Nobody gets blackballed. That's an illusion, yeah. Discord is a set algorithm. You have to be a super big celebrity to even be considered getting blackballed on YouTube. The viewers have the power on YouTube, and you need to understand the algorithm. I may consider explaining it on a separate channel, but yeah, ain't nobody getting blackballed. Not no 2K creator. I can tell you that much. We're just not big enough. As a 2K creator, you're gonna have ups and downs. Yes, thank you, Costa. Thank you for sharing that. It's an illusion. Folks like to lean on that idea that you can get blackballed from YouTube. We're not gonna turn this into a YouTube chat, but yeah, folks, because a lot of folks' egos get the best of them, and I'm not directing this at anybody. I'm just speaking in general terms. Your ego gets the best of you, and you see somebody else doing what you consider worse content. And because of your ego is so inflated, you're supposed to be getting more views. But you have no understanding of the YouTube algorithm and how it works. You have no understanding of when to grab the bull by the horns and start attacking. And because of that lack of understanding, your ego comes to the consensus that, hey, YouTube has to have a vendetta against me. Negative, sir. YouTube does not see you at all. You know how many YouTubers they are? You know how small we are as a whole to take every single creator in the 2K community, and we're minuscule in comparison to what YouTube actually is. So when you put it in that perspective, you start to get the understanding of what YouTube really is. So I also think they need to switch up the city layout to make it where you can win games in park and not have teams avoid you. That was never a problem in 2K20. In 2K20, it wasn't as big a problem. I tell you that. Blake making double time while streaming, watching Plant Life. Appreciate you, Blake. Thank you for the super chat. Only thing that has me worried is the badge system. I really hope losing badges isn't so intense. Folks had a question. Folks had a question about your badge regression and how easy can you lose badge levels. There was a big question that I thought was interesting in saying, well, what if you stop playing on your build? Is it like a timer on your build even when you're not playing? These are good questions. I doubt that'll be the case, but we never know. Maybe it is a timer where you got to stay on that build. I doubt that'll be the case because it'll prevent folks from making new builds, and 2K wants you guys to make new builds. So I imagine is your time played and how you perform. That's how I imagine it. If you guys got a better answer, please share and we could read it off. Splash Bucket said, are you going to be flying to New Zealand to stream and play the game early? Imagine that. I don't think there will ever come a time. I don't think there will ever come a time where I'll fly out of the country just to just salute to anybody who does. But I heard the homie Badge Plug is considering that. But yeah, they just don't got enough. This doesn't provide that much for me to make that happen. And you got to be talking about like 6 figures for me to even be considering something like that. and I don't see that happening. Badge regression is a negative, Coachy. For a lot of people, they feel like it's a negative. I personally think it's a huge positive. It creates a skill gap. There's floor setters in place so you can lock in the most important badges to you. I think they covered all bases. Otherwise, what we get is a lot of bum players being, and I mentioned this yesterday, players who are badge made and exploit made. We want to avoid all of that. How about being skill made? How about that? So you have a ton of players who have come into the community brand new, been playing the game only a year, but they directed their focus toward exploits and just getting the correct badges. And it seems like they're good players until you put them in front of an elite team. And then you see all the weaknesses because they really didn't have IQ. They were badge made and exploit made. We want to make players that are skill made based off skill, at least in my opinion. John Harvey, thank you so much for the 1999 super chat. He says, just found your channel with all the 2K24 news coming out. Been tuned in daily. Love the streams, bro. Salute to you, John Harvey, man. Thank you so much for the super chat. It really means a lot. You guys freaking, you guys, you guys be making me like, listen, we're on the road to 100K, man. 100K is like a good, it's a separation, at least in the community. It's like an unwritten rule. This 100K mark, it kind of speaks volumes on who you are in this community. And for the folks that have less than that, for me, I want to reach the goal. And it's pretty much irrelevant because I think our influence within this community speaks more than 100K subscribers. But for me, this is my first venture on YouTube, and I want to make sure that that goal is accomplished. And you guys can help us reach that goal by subscribing today, man. Get us one step closer to 100K. We want to make that happen in
Let's go,
2K24.
coach.
Thank you so much, y'all. I really appreciate all the love y'all give. Bums are gonna be bums, and hoopers are gonna hoop. Skill kills 2K24. Skill kills. I don't get that. You know, one of my arguments was, unless you said skill kills in 2K24. I don't know if you're referring to that. But one of my arguments was there has to be a clear
Let's go,
distinction
coachy.
between a brand new player, a noob, and in my opinion, a noob will probably be like 2-3 years in. So if you're 2-3 years in, you should be considering yourself a noob, at least compared to some of the veterans in the 2K community. And what I'm saying is there has to be a clear distinction of somebody who's fairly new to 2K versus somebody who's been playing, say, as long as I have, or 10, 15 years, something like that. I think there should be a clear distinction. Just like if you think of somebody who's played IRL basketball 15 years versus somebody who's played 2 years, depending on the training and all of that, for sure. But that's the concept behind it. And I'm thinking, hopefully there's a clear distinction there in 2K24. And I think this badge system is going to help separate skilled players from new players. Competitive casuals do exist. I would consider myself a competitive casual. I would say that about myself. If you want to put me on the competitive team, trust and believe, I am not going to be the one that sells the game. If we want to get into the competitive environment, we have every outlet to make that happen. But primarily on a daily basis, I don't want to be so stretched thin because I know what it takes to consistently play in that environment. So competitive casual, yeah, that's me. I could do that. I appreciate you sharing that. Oh, it's the 25th anniversary. I've been playing 25 years exactly. Go ahead, Michael. Yep. Show that age. Outlaw, what up? Salute to you. I'm buying in November, $20. That was a YouTuber score take. Yes, thank you for saying that, Hulk 80 TV. If you can, if you got a second, just beatbox on that like button. However you do it, whether you're in your phone trying to beatbox, beatbox that like button. And that'll help the algorithm trigger more people to come in. Aren't they making MT more affordable? I don't know. Highly doubtful. I don't know much about my team, but man, that seems, in my opinion, that seems highly doubtful because my team is the moneymaker for 2K. So if they do, so be it. Competitive casuals for the old heads. Yes, indeed. Old heads stand up. How come the good majority of the folks, there's one thing that you know about me is that although you don't know my age, I never deny my era. So when these young whippersnappers, these young heads come in and try to talk slick or be crazy, I know I was always kept in line when I was younger, and I was kept in line by the older dudes. I'm talking about I hold the door for the older dude, and for me holding the door, I got to get a smack in the back of the head. And it's just what it was. You know, they kept us in line, and it was a beautiful thing. And I think this generation needs that. You know, I don't want to make it complex or complicated in here, but it's necessary. We need to embrace our ages, man. There's a reason we made it. I find it as a huge accomplishment to have made it to the age that I am now. So ain't no way I'm gonna try to be younger than I am. Are you crazy? It's no going down, man. I embrace this joint. It's like a badge of honor for me. And maybe folks who have gone through it feel the same way. Hey City, what's the word? For the NMS challenge, how do you think that'll play into badge progression since it's based on how you play in the game? I think it's going to be a tough start in regards to badge progression. But as soon as I get the ball rolling and considering I have the team behind me, you know, the All City team behind me, we'll get my badges up. This way I could compete and move on to new things. A smack on the back of the head. Yeah, it's facts. We all got that. You know, for the people who know, they know. They used to do something called the hell hole where you get swung by your ankles. I mean, just wild stuff, man. But it kept us in line, I'll tell you that much. It kept us in hella line. Made it 23 years by the grace of God. Salute. I officially have the old head badge, and I wear that badge as a badge of honor. Yes, that is me. And we need old heads. The community needs old heads. I appreciate I'll tell you this much. I appreciate the innovative mindsets of these young folks. I appreciate how creative they are. But there's something within principles and morals that a lot of these young folks need guidance on. And that's where we come into play. So as they learn from us, we should be open minded enough to learn from them as well. And if you keep that, if you just allow for that bridge, we won't be as separated. And over the years, at least over the last decade, there's been a separation, a huge separation between youth and older folks, and that's got to stop. Older folks out here acting scared of these young boys. These are kids, B. Are you kidding me? So one thing I never had was fear for young boy. I was there. I was outside, and I was outside daily, every day. First one out, last one home, morning to morning. So I'll never fear a youngin. Just won't happen. And the youngins know. The
Let's
youngins
go,
know when
Coach
they
Easy.
see it in your eyes. They have the intuition, just like when I was young. I had that hella intuition. They know who to mess with. You just need to make sure that you're comfortable within yourself to see that that's a kid in front of you. When you acknowledge that that's a kid in front of you, you don't have to worry about anything else. Hopefully, more folks will think like that. But it is what it is. To each their own. Some folks just ain't built like that. Adam with the $5 super chat. My only concern with the floor setters is that they'll be at level 40. Folks that will be paying for skips instead of grinding. And that's a very likely going to be the case. It's going to be high up in the seasons, I imagine. 39, 40, things like that. It just is what it is, yeah. And it is a little concerning, but what can we do? Floor setters are an option. Floor setters is what's going to help create the skill gap. For folks like me who go no money spent, we're going to have more of a struggle. Just is what it is. There's definitely a difference between looking a boy and a man in the eyes, and you can feel it. Facts. Thank you for saying that. I'm 78. I wish young whippersnappers would try me. That's iced up jewelry. My opinion on it, Gen Z thought they would be like millennials, but better. It looks like boomers and millennials, the best gens by far. Either or, whatever it is, you know, I like to, here's the thing here. I like to give folks their strengths, accommodate folks for their strengths, uh, and try to find a way to complement those strengths because a lot of us old folks wouldn't have thought technology would have trended in the way that it did. And it moved super fast. And there's the young folks that just grabbed the bull by the horns and they didn't let go and they took advantage of so many different avenues. And then a lot of old folks just stood back watching, like, what he gonna do with that? Well, he's gonna become successful. That's what he's gonna do with that. And you know, this is where we gotta learn from each other, feed off each other. But it is what it is, man. Let me see the other. Elijah with the $5 super chat says, "Are you the type of 2K player to create your own custom shoes?" I am consistently. If so, how many do you normally
Let's go,
create, and which
coachy.
ones do you prefer? I normally create. I say over the last few years, that's a bad one for me. I say over the last few years, I probably create maybe somewhere between 10 and 15 shoes. And my favorite ones are the fours, the Jordan fours. So that's what I make the most of. Jordan ones and fours. The last Twitter space was great, AC. Thank you for joining, Rafa. It was a great space, man. It was a great space. Bat out of hell, 10 shoes, Air Jordans. Yep. 38 here too. I'm blessed too. Rest in peace. Facts. Exactly. My dad told me to work on cars and other mechanical aspects, and I told him how to
Let's
reset his
go,
email
coachy.
password. That's a good one, man. Speaking for this old head, take the skins out the park. Take the skins out the park? What do you mean, like the shirts off? The young cat in the videos from my career, he held down the 1v1s the whole 2K23. He's like 16, maybe. Nice, nice. Yeah, Ford folks, their strengths, man. Too many people focus on age and stuff like that, like as if that defines you. We've seen too many young folks shine and become tremendously successful. And then you got some old folks out here. If they embrace it, they shine. Shouldn't be the leading thought for somebody. That's what I'm getting at. It doesn't define you either way. There's old folks out there who just want to try their best to be young. And there's young folks who think they're older than they are, living life too fast. It just is what it is. Let's get back to 2K though, man. Creating shoes and NMS is a tough combination. You ain't lying. As a matter of fact, I may consider just using the VC earned to create shoes. That's what I may do. Who knows? Who knows? But I miss getting that shoe endorsement that'll let you custom shoe of your choice. Yeah, that was dope. There was a shoe glitch as well. What position do you plan to make in 24? Honcho Mac YouTube. Appreciate that comment. I'm leaning towards a wing. Folks saying make a center because it's the easiest, and I just feel like center is a cop out. I will eventually make a center, but that first experience of no money spent, I think is gonna go with a wing player. We're all equal on 2K. Yeah, I remember that's where the VC glitch used to happen, Lido. Lido said, I remember you could collect VC from your agent after playing rec. I hope we get away shoes and home shoes. That would be dope. Kids way better, yes, but still old heads have knowledge, as we all
Let's
will.
go,
Folks
coachy.
forget about like wisdom. It is what it is. I'm thinking the reason that some shoes aren't in the game relates to approvals and licensing agreements, and you're absolutely thinking right. Yeah, yeah, that's probably guaranteed. Yes, that's what it is. Skeletons, snowman suits, etc. I guess that's why I play rec. Well, yeah, I'm not big. I'm only really big on the shoes, but I haven't been big on anything else
Let's
materialistic.
go, coachy.
I like the custom shoes because I can make them match and look how I want to look, and plus I put my clips in the background of the video, so that's why I lean towards the custom shoes. But everything else, I'm just not with it. You know what my favorite reward was for 2K23 was the fast running shoes. I was so reluctant to take them joints off, only because it was so convenient to get around with them joints. What up, MO8? Appreciate you tapping in. How come WNBA player is 75 overall, but we start off at 6? I don't have the answer for that. Who knows what we're gonna start off at? Matter of fact, yeah, 60 sounds right, but I don't know why it is. Maybe it's because I imagine that it's less of a whole grind. The whole mode itself is just less of a grind, as the player base is not fully established for the WNBA mode. So you lose badges for playing bad. That sounds great. Thank you. It does sound great to me too. That was Michael. What up, Mags? Are you gonna have a rate your bill this year? Possibly have that rate. And I imagine the rate my bill is gonna be very different this year as we've developed a ton of influence with the community and we've got in line with some heavy hitters. So we'll see what we do with that rate my bill stuff. We'll see what goes down. But big year. 2K24 is a big year. If you guys don't know, we got the All City League hosted by All City Slim. And that's going to be popping. Pop-up tournaments with cash prizes for 2K24, drafts, tens, tryouts for the lunatics, tryouts for the maniacs. I mean, just a lot going on for 2K24. Got this no money spent thing going. If you guys would like, oh, by the way, what we've come to realize, especially with the way the badges are fluctuating and how folks are going to be so focused on maintaining their badges, which means they have to execute animations. If folks are trying to maintain their shooting badges, they got to shoot the rock. This might lead toward a nightmare for rec randoms. This might really be a nightmare. This might be the year that is apt. If you've been on the fence for joining our Discord, this might be the year that you're like, I got to now, bro. He's been telling me for 3 years, join our Discord. I got to now. That's probably what you're going to experience out there with them rec randoms. Everybody trying to make sure that they stay with their badges. I could see it being a nightmare out there if you're trying to build a team. Find folks that you want to run with that got your back instead of trying to sell you or get their badges at your expense. Come join our Discord. Type exclamation point Discord in the chat. The link will pop up. Find some folks in our Discord, man. They're out there every day. 27,000 strong. Join up. You don't have to pay. Discord is free. Discord is free, y'all. We have a separate service where you'll have one-on-one time with me and the All City team. Your option. That's a separate thing, which is such a tiny portion of our Discord. Our Discord is gigantic. We have rooms for every respective council, every respective region, multiple ways to find players for rec, pro-am, park, other games as well if you play other games. We have party chats in there, so you have a safe connection with folks, so you don't have to worry about folks getting your IP. Yeah, it's big. It's big in there, y'all. That's join is to become a member. Exclamation point Discord gets you the link to Discord. Hoodie H with the $5 super chat said, what do you think about no boost leagues and tournaments? Wow. That's hella interesting. I ain't even gonna front. That's like a 2K league type of tournament. I think it'd be hard to keep track of. I think it'd be challenging for whoever wants to take on that challenge. Because folks try to finesse and add boosts to their player and nobody knows. It'd be nice if 2K, like on your player card, it showed you're boosted up. This is what you boosted. They literally making us wait a month to see one damn feature. They make their money off of. Well, Swante had mentioned that, like, salute to 2K for selling the game without giving any gameplay. It is what it is. We know what 2K is. And if considering, I'll tell you this much, this is what's helping to be optimistic about what's to come for 2K24. How the developers have come out It may be a part of marketing, which would be a learning experience for me, and I'll be talking about it next year. Be cautious. Yeah, they come out just to sell the game. But as it stands right now, it seems like the 2K development team is trying to bridge the gap between the community and development, offering insight, listening to our insight. Because what happens right now and what we're talking about right now will likely be implemented into 2K or be considered for implementation 2 or 3 years from now. So it's important to be in these conversations. The way it stands right now, it looks like they're trying to bridge the gap. Now, if they come out and everything was executed so poorly and the game is completely trash, they're going to have a lot to stand on. If they decide to disappear, there's going to be a huge reaction from the 2K community because they were here when they were selling the game, but they're not here when the game has been sold and the people want answers. So
Let's
that's,
go, Koji.
something we got to consider. Only time will tell. We could only speculate right now. So, the real Lil T, appreciate you being here. Who runs to them channels that say best bills? That's your first mistake. Yeah, it's gonna be hard to consider the best bills. It's gonna take some time. Yeah, folks that went to community day are really happy with what they saw. So you rather have an inside big or a shooting big? I can't tell you. I can't tell you for sure. And all this stuff that's, these are things we could speculate on a year-to-year basis. It varies. Sometimes, like for 23, I prefer playing with my inside big, but there were times where I prefer the shooting big, and it really depended on our point guard and how effective he is. So that changes. What was the feedback from community day? All positive from community day. It seems, at least unless you guys know different. How do you feel about, hold on, what the homie said there? Mo said, how do you feel about 2K no longer including a prelude before the game comes out no more? I seen your video expressing how you are disappointed 2K didn't release a demo on Mamba Day. Definitely disappointed. There were rumors going around that there may have been a demo. I'm getting used to it. I was more so disappointed that we didn't have enough information and then we just get bombarded. So that was like yesterday was yesterday. We could talk about today because we've got bombarded with so much useful information. I wish we would have had time to really digest all this information. But unfortunately, we've been bombarded and we're going to continue to get bombarded until release day. So that's Jay Amir. What up, Jay Amir? We need you to come into these spaces, man. Salute to Jay Amir. Go check him out. He's a great content creator. People just need to play their play style. I'm pretty sure if that's the same Jay Amir. Stop trying to do everything. That's how you're gonna get the best experience. And that's where, my opinion varies. I think folks, if they make the purchase for the game, they make whatever they want. Gotta stop blaming the community. We are consumers. That's like you going to buy a stereo and your next door neighbor tells you, homie, don't put that volume past 10. What are you finna say? So, I take that into consideration that folks spend money on the game. They make whatever the hell they want. Who's gonna restrict you on how to find entertainment with what you purchased? I think people forget that this is a business transaction. They made a purchase, IRL money. Who's gonna tell them how to make a build and what type of build to do and what animations to execute? It's like, get up out of here, bro. So I don't agree with folks trying to blame the community. I'm gonna stand on that, and it's okay to disagree with me. I'm totally okay with that. I understand, but I just feel like we're passing the buck because the main problem is rooted in development. And I want to add to that it looks like development for 2K24 has remedied a lot of the issues that created these problems. So the concept for 2K24 is no more meta builds. How likely is that to be the case? We don't know. You're discrediting the 2K community because they are demons at finding that meta build. They are demons. They will be out there night and day to find some minor glitch in the matrix and gives you a meta build. If 2K can invite creators to play the game first, then bring back Prelude. Please don't get the misconception. 2K is a gigantic, successful business. Let me share this with y'all. They have tons of engineers, tons of gameplay testers. They have Wolf, who's a legitimate player, a GOAT in the community, a great 2K player who recently became a developer. And from what I understand, there's a ton of Wolf type players who test the game. So don't have a misconception that we need people from our community to go and test the game to figure it out. Negative. They have it. They're gigantic business. And just like, and they wouldn't have made it this successful if they didn't have things in place. I know from a player perspective, we're like impossible because they should have fixed this or fixed that. Things like the inbounding. Well, they explained the inbounding. Inbounding was generated by 2K development. It wasn't motion captured. For 2K24, a lot of that stuff was motion captured through the new Pro Play technology. So they took old footage and they captured the inbounding. So we should have better inbounding. We should see a lot better animations, hopefully, but we'll see what happens. This is just
Let's
the
go, coach.
I'm only afforded this knowledge through the 2K development team trying to bridge the gap and sharing some insight. So when they share insight, now I could share that with y'all and give y'all some insight. So now y'all know. And I would like to say and add to this, I think what we come to learn for 2K24 and the consensus between a lot of people who've gotten close with development is that development truly cares. Development, we're not talking about 2K the business, two separate entities. The development team really works hard 12-hour days in that they truly want to make a decent game for the community. They want to answer the call for the community. At least that's been the consensus. Now, the business side of things, that's where things get complicated. Take Two, that's where things get complicated because they want money. And the development team is stuck between a rock and a hard place, trying to accommodate the folks that employ them and keep them employed, but also make a good game for the masses, the 2K community. So definitely things we got to consider. To me, I say you're a consumer, have whatever opinion you want to have about it, but at least have an educated thought about it. No Aim said $5 super chat. We might need some meta bills. I spent over $500 on bills. VC plus battle pass equals over 1,000. So from what I gathered, it looks like with this new fluctuating badge system, a theory of mine is that we're going to be able to stay on our builds, our one particular build, a lot longer. You know how when you max out your build, the challenge, it just becomes dull? So this is where you start seeking out new builds. If you make your build particular ways, you can incorporate some badges, lock them in with the floor setters, and then pursue a whole different type of experience. For instance, think of playmaking shot creator play style versus a pure shot creator play style trying to get badges for his mid-range game. So a playmaking shot creator wants to get his 3-point badges up, but a shot creator wants to get his mid-range game and finesse finishing up. These are different things you can explore all within one build. So I feel like it's going to be interesting. That's just a thought of mine. If it's going to translate on the court, I don't know. What's the Discord? Just type !Discord to join, yeah. Definitely taking a full day to look at builds before I commit to build and position. I might do the same. Hot Wheels Hunting Hauler. That's a long name. Hot Wheels Hunting Hauler. I think it's good no meta builds as well. I think next 2K, they should let us vote on some features, badges, gameplay, animations. At least the complication. Hey, stick with the $100, well, with the 100 bits, I should say. I'm new to the Twitch stuff, so I can't even say what that is. I gotta go in and check now because the little icon didn't pop up with it. So I gotta go and appreciate the 100 bits. Will spin tech still be a badge? Post move spin technician. Well, I'm not sure. I know they have spin cycle. Spin cycle is supposed to be a thing. I'm not sure if post spin technician is going to be there. I don't know what to go with. Height, I'm not sure what height to go with. I'm leaning towards like a 6'10, but I got to get the feel for how tall the Bills are on the court. For instance, they're saying that the court has seemed to have shrunk over the last few years because players are actually making taller Bills. The size of the court hasn't been adjusted. At least that's what they're saying. And 2K24 is supposed to be set up where people make your normal size bills of what we've been accustomed to over the years. So we should go back to it feeling like a normal size court. I'm not sure. In other words, you're not going to be able to play two. This is what they're getting at. You're not going to be able to play two people at once like we did in 2K23. One person can guard the hash and the corner. One person can guard the paint and the corner. So it was tough, and hopefully they're gonna change all of that. Interior defense is trash in 23, not in 2K24. Hopefully. Well, Anthony Riggs to help with that and reiterate, the court size has not changed at all. 2K24 is gonna have the same exact court size, but 2K has adjusted the build system so that we're creating builds for that court side instead of everybody making a 6'9". We're going to see a variety of bills out there, which should lend to more space on the court. That's what they're saying, at least. Rim running is gone. Talk to a guy who played the game. Highly doubtful. Highly doubt rim running. There hasn't been a year where folks couldn't rim run. So I don't know if it's gone. It may not be the same as 23. I think there's going to be a skill gap there. Considering how much badges they implemented for finishing, I doubt they will let finishing be a failure. It'd be crazy if they invested so much time into finishing and the badges and separating these badges to add more finesse, add more options, and then you make finishing irrelevant. That'd be just seem like a waste of time. So we'll see what happens. But ideally, I do want to see interior defense get a huge boost. And Mike Wayne confirmed that from gameplay testers, one of the biggest and absolute most important changes to the game was interior defense. The most noticeable change has come to interior defense. At least that's what Mike Wayne has said. We'll see how true that is. This is the year for bigs. Hopefully it's the year for everybody. Why did you cut your dreads? Because they were tickling my ears. I don't like things just randomly tickling my ears, so I just cut them. 6'9s are going to be nerfed to the ground, most likely. I just have a feeling 6'5s are making a comeback. I would love to see 6'5s make a comeback. I ain't going to front. For my smaller build, I might lean towards 6'3, 6'4. Just join your Discord. I will be looking for people to run with this year for sure. That's what's up, Johnny. Hey, Johnny, ain't you the one? That's interesting you joined. Because ain't you the one who tried to leave a wild comment? Folks think, most old heads don't have my memory, but ain't you the one who was WTFing in my comments? I'll tell you one thing. You don't ever see me talking like that or addressing somebody like that. Don't ever address me like that. Ever. Lead with respect, I'll give you respect. But don't ever come at me in no WTF nothing. I don't rock with that at all. It's no going down, Kochi. I don't know if you're a young boy or something, done bumped your head, but never with me. Yeah, it's you. I know it's you, because I just saw the comment beforehand. I know it's you. You had the same Blue Jay. I'm almost certain it's you. And y'all could check it. It's on my latest video, and I had to respond. And I said, I don't rock like that. You don't talk to me, no WTF nothing. WTF, what are you talking about? Maybe you're responding to somebody else and I'm mistaken. You didn't at the person. I just saw that in my comments and I responded to it as well. So hopefully I'm mistaken in my approach. Maybe you were addressing somebody else. Hopefully that's the case. But either way, no love lost. Just make sure when it comes to me, don't address me on no WTF nothing. Don't start a conversation with me like that. Who knows what's the nerf? I watched Reese make a video And the build 2K showed for 24 is the same rating in 23 with those attributes. Interesting. Yeah, crypto. Thank you for saying that. Day's been going good, DK14. I hope NBA 2K Play Now has Mike Breen as one of the commentators. Interesting. I find it interesting that, we have people who play different game modes, and I intend to explore it this year. I intend to explore different game modes as well, see if I could find fun. But you got to understand that there's so many different people who expect different things. Like the homie saying he's talking about the commentator. He's like, I hope Mike Breen is in commentating. And to my career players or like rag players, pro-am players, we're like, what? Who cares about the commentator? But people care. People care. It creates immersion. There's a reason why it puts it in, why the folks put it in there. The homie said that's definitely him. I tell you, I don't be forgetting stuff. Oh, it wasn't towards me. I apologize if it wasn't towards me. Maybe you were referring to somebody else. I apologize for that. I appreciate you coming through and clearing that up. Attributes aren't attached to other attributes in 2K like it is in 23. Yeah, they're gonna vary. The attributes, the way in which they tether these attributes is gonna vary drastically. Remember, the idea that 2K has is that they don't want meta builds in the game. So I'm sure there had to be like a lot of balancing with how you raise a particular attribute up, or when you lower it, what gets affected, things like that. What badges are tied to the attributes, because increasing this attribute allows you to perform, say, finesse mid ranges, spin mid range, things like that. So badges are going to be tied to that. A lot to consider. I think what's going to nerf 6.9s is the speed gap and some of the other physicals. I think you may be right. I think 2K24, they're going to make physicals really important. And your physicals, I think it seemed like, although the smarter creators started with their physicals, so if you're creating a build, you made sure you got your physicals first, and then you kind of adjusted everything else. But smart, like folks that weren't as smart with making builds on 2K started from the top to bottom. And it seemed like 2K led you from top to bottom. It seems like 2K development for 2K24 is leading from bottom to top, where starting with your physicals is the mentality that they have. And then you'll see how you could incorporate everything else, but it's tied into your physicals. So interesting stuff. Do you have a minimum pass rating you like to throw on bigs? I did, if I'm not mistaken, I went like 70 or 75 for my bigs this year, if I'm not mistaken. I know I didn't make it extra high. I know it wasn't extra high, but I made a decent, and I'm not even an outlet passer. If you play tougher levels of competition, levels of competition, you don't necessarily want to throw that outlet because defense is sitting waiting on that. So I would always icon X-Star point guard, but we'll see how that plays out. Rec Gym was the dopest it's been by far in 23. It was. I ain't gonna front. It was, but I want to see more variety. I want to see like 2K understand that a lot of players have gone to the rec center, and we really only play rec or higher levels of competition, just like we used to really only play park. Hopefully they bring park back as well. I would love to get back into the park scene. Tour centers, Lorenzo Brown said tour centers are going to be really slow this year. 6'10", 6'11", sweet spot, I'm guessing. That's not a bad guess in my opinion either. It's not a bad guess in my opinion. How about that badge that's going to let you get a speed boost as a big man? One of the biggest issues I had with big man builds, like my 7-footer having a 93 driving dunk, but never get the opportunity to create enough momentum to take off. It looks like that face up, I forgot the name of the badge. It looks like that joint giving you a speed boost off that first step. Ooh-wee. Sounds like fun to me, man. J. Poe said, you think they will address ball hogging to keep badges? Because I could see this being a huge problem. I mentioned it in today's video. I see it being a huge problem as well. If folks know and players are worried about or like having their badges regress, what do you think they're gonna do when they get their hands on the rock? It is gonna be a thing. The best way to combat that idea is getting with a group of folks that you normally run with, so you're all on the same type of time. And the easiest way to get with a group of folks and build some chemistry is join our Discord. It's an easy solution. You're here right now. Type !Discord and join, so you're not having a random experience on 2K24. And I'm not saying that for the sake of saying that. I am in our Discord every single day. When 2K24 drops, you're gonna see me in the party chats. So you're gonna be able to just come right in and say, "What up, city?" And for the weird toxic folks, they're gonna try to troll and get themselves banned ASAP. It happens. You could be there to watch the whole thing go down. I will be in those party chats, and I am in there every day. Hey, what do you think about the idea of defense being better than offense on 2K? I don't want to see that. I don't want neither to be better. I want skill to reign supreme. Defense needs to have the ability to keep up with offense. The fact, this is absolute fact. Throughout all the years thinking 2K, it seems like defense has always been a step behind. Just like I had mentioned and have been mentioning for years now. If offense gets a speed boost, how come defense doesn't have an option to speed boost? Ironically, that's exactly what Mike Wang put in the report. Offense gets a chance to speed boost. Well, now defense gets a chance to speed boost. So the concept is 2K needs to make defense keep up with offense. Offense has way more tools than the defense has, and we just want to see defense be effective. Trust in the community, trust in the player base. They're up for the challenge. Stop watering things down. Let defense be effective for effective elite defenders. Everybody else will fall by the wayside, just like those point guards who think they're good point guards, but they're really not. Have very little IQ. They hit the lab for 10 minutes, practice one dribble combo, and said, "I'm going to lead a team." No, the point guards are leaders of a team. You should respect what position you're putting yourself in. So I'm hoping we have balance there. I want balanced game. The best man win. No one better than the other. Yeah, I want a balanced game, and the ones that are better, they shine because they put the work in. Folks should be better, but that should come from like your effort at practicing, learning dribble combos, understanding 2K. You know, there's effort involved in that a new Jack may not be able to afford to put so much effort in. This the no randoms 2K year. Say it again, no aim. Bat out of hell. Team game as in the adrenaline bars and team defense was needed. Show me one play speed boosting in real life. Well, that's the difference. And you know, we talked about that, the drama. We talked about that because a lot of folks like to compare the idea that, well, that's not real life. And it's like, we get that it's not real life, but if they put real life in here and we was playing true NBA simulation, somebody brought this up yesterday. Do you know how you guys are going to be dribbling up the court on a full court press? You're going to be holding L2 the whole time. L2, trying to keep the ball secure, walking up the court like a Mark Jackson. So we got to be cautious what we ask for. And I like the idea that 2K does have arcade type of elements within 2K because it does keep things faster. It keeps things a little bit more fun, in my opinion. Maybe not for everybody, but if we went complete simulation, forget about it. We're talking about the slowest paced 2K ever. That's yeah. Yeah, you're shooting 30% from the three. We gotta be careful. Ain't nobody gonna be happy with that. Yeah, the homie said Ja Morant carries and speed boosts IRL. He said being fast is a speed boosting. Yeah, but it adds an element of speed to the game, is what I'm getting at. That's what I like. I've always liked speed in the game. I've always preferred speed in the game. I've always liked faster 2Ks. 2K23 seemed kind of slow and clunky to me. Yeah, it is a video game, Drama said. Man, I love the randoms. They make the game fun sometimes. I can see it sometimes. What up, RSR? Max Holloway got a clean knockout. Just get better, Morgan Smith said. 524 in the chat. Man, what we finna do today? It's looking like a Call of Duty sort of night. I got guns to grind. I gotta get those guns up, and I'm playing them on Modern Warfare 2 to upgrade the guns. Shipment. That's been super fun. I'm trying to get Warzone ready. All this news for 2K24, super excited about. It seems like everybody that went to Community Day is still super excited. It seems like they handled that well. Salute to the 2K dev team for trying to bridge the gap and coming into these spaces. Salute to Red City and Ja for making those spaces happen consistently. Salute to All City Big Heck for hosting a tremendously successful space last night. The Czar came in, Zach Timmerman came in, Herb Scribner came in. Salute to everybody, man. Jack Bill, who reached out to me, says he wants to make something happen. Pretty dope. Salute to the homie Jack Bill. I've been a fan of Jack Bill for a long time, so it's nice to connect with the homie. He joined our Discord as well. We got a ton of VIPs within our Discord. You have no excuses next year. You don't need to be running with randoms. You can stop telling me your experience with randoms. If you're still running with randoms next year, I'm going to blame you. We work hard at developing our platform, man. So if you want to change your experience, you can do that simply by typing !Discord, y'all. I'm wishing y'all all safe and blessed rest of your day. I will catch you guys either on the next video or live.